name is Kelly Dossel. I'm the assistant principal for the junior class. It's always my pleasure to welcome folks to our Student of the Month breakfast. It is indeed an honor for these students to being recognized. When we think about LT, sometimes we think of it as being a large school, but it's events like this that really make it feel much smaller and much more like a family. The students being honored today will be presented by their nominating teachers, and the teachers will share why they nominated the student. However, please understand that some of our teachers do have schedules that have them teaching at South or might have a first hour period. So if they sneak out, it's not because they don't want to be here. First, we're going to begin with Mr. Sweeney from our World Language Department. Mr. Sweeney, come on up. Please bring your student. And just so that LTTV has it on, if the students can stand on the X on the floor, it makes it so much better for everyone. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Mr. Sweeney. I'm the Latin teacher here at Lyons Township, and I've had the pleasure of teaching Jack Latin for the past 4 years. He's a fantastic student in our Latin prose classroom this year. For the last 3 years of his education and so far this year, Jack has done a fantastic job demonstrating hard work in the classroom, dedication to his studies, and it really, to me, what's really important, a desire to learn things and master material that goes way beyond the curriculum and the syllabus and the content. He wants to learn something because he wants to learn it. He wants to know it and find out why that matters for him personally, and that's a great attribute to have, I think, as a student. He's an integral part of our classroom community. Latin is tough. It's a challenging, rigorous topic, and we do a lot of work together in a class, right? He's laughing because he knows this is true. So our classroom community is a very important part of what we do. We have discussions every day about the difficult, challenging text that we are translating from Latin into English, and then talking about why does that matter to us, why is that important, how might that have mattered to a Roman citizen 2,000 years ago. Jack is always quick to offer his insight in those discussions, to ask questions, not only of me, but of his classmates and his peers to drive that discussion forward. And I appreciate that, and I also recognize that that is a challenging thing for a high school student to do, and Jack does a fantastic job of that. He's kind to his peers. In that group work that we do, he's always willing to help them, to mentor them. He's almost like another teacher in the classroom. And again, as a high school senior, that's very impressive. I know I can always count on Jack to be a good role model for his classmates, not just in terms of how to be a good student and how to do things well academically, but really how to go about your business holistically in a positive way that reflects well on yourself. So Jack, you are very deserving of this award. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Before we leave, Jack's going to have to explain to me what Latin prose is. I always thought that was a poetry class. Our next presenter this morning from our art department, I'd like to welcome up Mr. Patrick Page, who's going to talk to us about Alyssa. Mr. Page.
Good morning. Alyssa's really amazing. I met her last year in I had 2 classes, art history and also advanced drawing and painting, and then she's in AP art this year. It's kind of weird. Literally last year, like a year ago, I saw how great she was at art. You kind of see as kids work on stuff. We went on our field trip last year, just like we're doing today, and her drawing stone devastation was her degree of realism is just amazing. She works really hard. Our great art kids are organized. She's super organized. Our history, she always busted her butt. Her ideas, we showed her, last year we showed, hey, here's an idea that you might use, and she just replicated it. Like this Trump Loyal, photoreal thing, she just did it. She goes all out to research things. She's really great with her peers. A big part of the AP kids is getting other kids involved. She does that. She's really she's good for herself, but she's amazing for everyone else. And then this summer, we started a pollinator garden right outside, all the way down here. And if you see all the little partridge pea plants, she planted them one by one by one, hundreds of them. and we've been here the whole fall doing bulbs and stuff. So if you come here, starting in March, you'll see her handiwork because it'll bloom the whole year through. So she's outstanding. She's a great example to everyone. I'm lucky to work with her, and thank you for everything.
Thank you. Congratulations, Alyssa. I can't wait to see the garden in the spring. Presenting this morning from our science department, I'd like to welcome up Mr. Bruce Fowley, who's going to talk to you about Ms. Molly Banos. Mr. Fowley.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Bruce Foley, and this is Molly, the Science Student of the Month. And the news hit yesterday or the day before about how there were a bunch of kids that said, organic chemistry is too hard. We need a new teacher. We need to dump all those things. And Molly's one of those kids. I've seen all the stuff about, oh, this stuff's bad, this stuff's too hard, we're quiet quitting. Molly is quiet excelling. It is amazing what Molly can do all the time. So Molly took summer chemistry with me before, and now she's in AP chemistry with me. Both things are choosing something difficult in a time when we can take an easy path. One of our first assignments is an outreach assignment where students have to have an outside science experience where they put themselves in an advanced situation. And Molly went to hear a talk about things that most people were graduates or graduate students on, and she sat in there, absorbed it, took something back, and told the class what it was about and how it could apply to if you're interested in science. Things like that really give us hope for the future. We talk about Student of the Month. These are like students of the future or leaders and learners of the future. We've heard that from some other people. And we're just really lucky to have kids like Molly at LT. Thank you, Molly.
Congratulations, Molly. Our next presenter this morning from our psychology department, I'd like to welcome up Mr. John Seipel, who's going to be talking to us about Nate. Mr. Seipel.
Good morning, everyone. My name is John Seipel. I teach psychology here at Lyons Township. And I wanted to nominate Nate Johnson for this year's Student of the Month, for October, for the Student of the Month in my Introductory to Psychology class. First of all, let me congratulate all the students. It's October. It's the first one. We just gotten to know you guys. And you guys have somehow shown some sort of brightness with us to get nominated today. So congratulations to each of you. I appreciate it. I know I've got one or two students out there. So, but let me talk about Nate. Nate is my Student of the Month because he loves to volunteer. He's the first one to raise his hand. He's the first one to ask questions. He's the first one to answer questions. He's the first one to laugh at my jokes, which is always a good thing. Okay, he has shown that he's really interested in the class. And I always like doing this in October because it gives me a challenge to get to know my students. It didn't take long to get to know that Nate was going to be my Student of the Month because he's always the first one in class. He's always doing the things that I was saying just a few minutes ago. And so congratulations, Nate, for being my October Student of the Month. Thank you. There you go, buddy.
Nate, you're going to have to share with me some of Mr. Seipel's jokes, and we'll decide whether they're funny or not, okay? All right. They're not. Well, they're dad jokes? Okay, well. Our next presenter this morning from our physical education department, I'd like to welcome up Mr. Joe Conway. His student was nominated in adventure education, and for those people that don't know what that is, these are the people that climb up on the high ropes and get into the kayaks and do the things that make me very afraid, Mr. Conway, so keep doing it.
All right, so we have Gerlando Tamburello here, or as we call him in class, Gelato. And before I go on to, just like Mr. Seipel said, I recognize a few faces in here too. Congratulations to everybody because I personally have 175 students just this semester, and Gerlando was easy to choose from the whole pack. He stood out above the rest. This isn't the first semester he's chosen the track adventure education, which consists of kayaking, like Ms. Dossel said, and rock climbing as well. We do some team building as well. So there's a whole array of items we do. But he's just stood out above the rest. I'm a sponsor for a rock climbing club after school as well. I walk into the gym, all the ropes are suspended up in the air. When I walk in the gym, they're down, and a lot of the kids are like, what can I do now, Mr. Comic? Can I try that? He comes up to me and says, how can I help? How cool is that? So, I mean, this awesome individual, I can't say enough. One other situation we had in class, not situation, but experience, because it is an experience with Gerlando. So in our kayaking unit, it's very new for a lot of people. A lot of people have been in a boat, but when I ask them to get in the boat and flip upside down, that's when the issue comes about, all right? And then I ask them to get in a boat with a spray skirt on, flip upside down, pound 3 times in the bottom and swipe their hands, and now it's even a bigger issue. But however, when they see Gerlando do it for the class as a demonstration, they're like, all right, you know what? I just saw this individual do it now, you know, maybe it's not so bad. And then he does a full rotation on the side of the pool. He does a T-rescue where he flips upside down, pounds on the boat 3 times, mind you, underwater with a spray skirt on, swiping his hands as another boat comes, nudges his boat, he flips it upright and rescues himself. So all these examples and all these demonstrations that he's done, like I said, have made it so easy to choose Gerlando. He is excellent. So thank you very much, Gerlando, for being the student of the month. We got these pens, and here's the write up. Hold on. And all right, now we're good. All right.
I wonder how many students go home and say, hey, I tried to drown myself today in class and it was really, really fun. 150, okay. Woo. Our next presenter this morning I'd like to welcome up from our Family and Consumer Science Department, Ms. Ann Stickman, who's going to be talking to us about Laura and Duca. Ms. Stickman.
Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, and I quote, "Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm." The Family and Consumer Sciences Student of the Month, Laura Nduka, is not only a superb student, but she has a personality that's charged with enthusiasm. If you grab onto the metal part of both of those. Okay. I'm always surprising my students. They were holding a cube that turned into a heart, beating heart in class the other day, on Monday. So this is an energy stick, and it has metal parts that when she connected to them, obviously she made a charge. And that's what her personality is like. She's charged with enthusiasm. Like an electrical current conductor, she brings an energy and enthusiasm to the entire class. Her spark of loving health and science in the Family Health Studies class has ignited the entire class. Thirst for questions related to health from day one. Her love and respect for others has encouraged others to feel comfortable and be around her, as well as want to be like her. The other students listen intently to her responses to questions asked in class, as well as the questions she asked. Like this energy stick, Laura conducts electricity or enthusiasm and sparks other inquisitive minds to think about the whys throughout the class. Laura produces a direct current, constant all the time. Her class performance does not ebb and flow like an alternating current. It stays constant and high when she completes all assignments. She also uses the energy and electrical charged enthusiasm to support her peers. In the past couple of weeks, we had Suicide Prevention Week, and with a smile and intense caring for everyone in class, she gave them a treat. And she really made them feel like they were loved. She lives what she believes. If every class had a Laura, and I know these classes do, I can only imagine what a warm, fuzzy spark in this entire school population would experience. She closes the circuit with others. In closing, the FCS department's pleased to have Laura and Duca be the energy stick who could be described as an unknown author, once said. Enthusiasm is excitement with an inspiration, motivation, and a pinch of creativity. You have it all. May you have a wonderful career in medicine, a family health career. The world needs people like you in the health field.
So Laura, in a few years when I make a doctor's appointment, you're going to be who I'm seeing. I should just plan ahead. Okay. Our next presenter this morning from our business department, I'd like to welcome up Mr. Michael Archibald, who's going to be talking to us about Delfina. Mr. Archibald.
Fortunately, I get to follow up that insanely awesome speech that you just gave. And most of you who know me know that if I don't write anything, it's possible we could be here for 20 minutes on a tangent. So I will just read so that way we can all keep moving. Delfina has shown herself to be a great learner during the first month of school. Not only does she come prepared to class every day, but she participates and adds to the class environment. She has shown a real deep understanding for accounting, and I am looking forward to what she contributes to the class for the entire semester and then also the LT community in the future. And the last little ad lib I will say to Delfina, she truly comes to class and I believe she enjoys accounting, which is extremely tough sometimes. So I appreciate your enthusiasm, I appreciate what you bring, and congratulations. All right.
Congratulations, Delfina. Our next presenter couldn't nominate one nor two, but needed 3 nominations in order to feel like he was really doing the Student of the Month justice. I'd like to welcome up Mr. Mark Dahl from our music department, who's going to be introducing some students for marching band. Mr. Dahl.
Good morning. So this is Nate and Piper and Audrey, and they are the Students of the Month for Music. I think the best way to just give you a glimpse to the hard work and dedication of these students is last time I saw these students was 9:30 last night after marching band rehearsal. And then Audrey would normally be at her trumpet sectional this morning. That started at 7:10. And Piper and Nate are performing this evening in the jazz ensemble concert. And then all 3 of them will be coming back Friday evening, on their day off to perform at the marching band of the football game. So it gives you kind of a glimpse into so many things that they do. These students, as drum majors of the marching band, these students arrive well before and stay later than all the other students. They help set up the field for rehearsal. They meet with student and staff leadership to go over the rehearsal plan. They conduct the band and music rehearsal and performance. They aid individual students with performance and marching questions. They liaison between the directors and students. They give constant feedback on student needs and recommendations to improve further rehearsals. They provide team building input. The list could literally go on and on. These students in these roles are always wonderful students, but these students this year have done a remarkable job in this leadership role. I'm one of the lucky teachers here. Lucky, but in my role, I see these kids every day from freshman year all the way through senior year, and it's so rewarding to see them come in. They were wonderful when they came in, but to see them grow into the amazing young men and women that they are now is really an honor. So congratulations. Congratulations.
Our next presenter this morning, I'd like to welcome up from our English department, Ms. Nikita Hulbert, who's going to be introducing us to Camilla. Ms. Hulbert.
Good morning, everyone. Camilla is a student in my multicultural literature class, and the first week of school, the first few days, we were talking in small groups about the purpose for studying literature, which I know you can think of a lot of them just off the top of your head. And so some people reported out from their groups, and Camilla came up to me after class, and she said quietly, I was listening, which I knew, and she said, but I don't really like to speak in front of people. I don't like to talk in class. And I said, thank you for telling me. And a couple of days later, she came to my desk after and she said, I was thinking about dropping your class. But I decided I want to stay. I want to try. and I was so pleased. Camilla completed her first 2 years of high school in Peru, and when she transferred into LT last year, she received support in our ELL program. This is what I know about her from reading my roster. But what I know about her from getting to know her over the past few weeks, she is conscientious, intelligent, and hardworking. She was having a little trouble with a New York Times article I had given them to read and a quiz. And so there were a couple questions. We stepped out in the hall, and I wanted to make sure she got the main concept, which she did. And I was like, okay, I'll forget the quiz because I know that you understand. And she said, no, I want to go back to the questions. And she did, and she got a perfect score. So she's hardworking. She advocates for herself. Even when she is nervous or unsure about the outcome, she pushes forward. And she made the choice to stay in my English class because she knows she is capable of doing the work. And I hope she also knows how much the class, myself included, benefits from her presence. Just since I wrote this, I've learned so much more about her and how brave she is. I know she misses her family in Peru, but she is pushing ahead, and I'm proud of you, and I'm happy that I have the pleasure to serve you in my class. Congratulations.
Felicitaciones, Camilla. Our final presenter this morning, I'd like to introduce Ms. Susie O'Rourke from our math department. She's going to be introducing a student from her Calc AP class, which is why I put her last, because there's too many letters for me. Ms. O'Rourke.
Good morning, everyone. I am very pleased to nominate Luke Merkel for the Math Student of the Month for October. I had Luke as a junior in my pre-calculus class, and then I hit the jackpot twice, which means I'll never win the big money ball because I've already won twice. But he showed up on my calculus roster for this year as well, and I was just beaming as soon as those came out on Infinite Campus over the summer. So Luke greets me every day with a huge smile. I don't think you're ever in a bad mood, but maybe you are. You hide it well. But he asks me how I'm doing, and it's genuine. It's not, just the surface level. How are you? Fine, good, okay. He treats his peers with the same respect. He's a very diligent student who always puts forth his very best effort. And I joke with Luke about this. I had a high school math teacher who said he would give us $1 every time we found one of his mistakes. And I could never make that deal with my students because I am the queen of errors. But every time I post an answer key, I just wait. I set the timer. I'm like, okay, when will Luke's email come? He sends me the most polite email telling me, hi, Mrs. O, I think on number 8, it should be this, but I could be wrong. He's not. So I could never have that deal because Luke would be rich and I would not be. Luke is a great asset to have in class. We do group work fairly often, and he is always willing to explain concepts to other students. He's receptive to their ideas. He's always it's like he's my second teacher in the room. He's a natural leader, and he has, I think, genuine interest in calculus, which is awesome, in my opinion. But I'm very excited to continue working with Luke this year, and I congratulate you on all your success so far, and I know there's more to come. So thank you, Luke.
I'm pleased to know that there are people in this world that love calculus. I'm not one of them. That's going to conclude our ceremony this morning. But before we leave, I'd like to take a few moments to thank some folks. I'd like to thank Sodexo for our breakfast this morning, and LTTV with Candy Faye in the back, who's filming our ceremony today. Stay tuned on LTTV. In a few weeks, you'll be able to see the ceremony live, or recorded. I'd also like to thank Karen Jakowiak, my assistant, who really does all the work for this, and literally I just show up and it's ready to go. Thank you, Karen. Students, students, I'd like to congratulate you. You've set yourself apart from other students for your hard work, commitment, integrity, thoughtfulness, academic success, leadership, and positive attitude. And last but certainly not least, I'd like to congratulate the parents who are with us today. Without your continual support, commitment, and guidance, we wouldn't have such fine citizens to recognize today. I'd like to thank everyone for coming. Please make sure you grab an extra cup of coffee on your way out. Students, you still have 10 minutes to get to first period, so there's plenty of time, no rushing. And thanks so much for coming out this morning. I appreciate it.